Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over this typewriter I have here. It's, I have no idea what it is other than it is a Smith Corona typewriter from some year in the past. So I got this a long time ago, and there's two issues with it that I've never thought to fix. And here's the two issues. So the first one is that the plus button here, plus and equals, doesn't actually activate a lever. And you'll notice that if we kind of look under the hood, when you click the plus, it doesn't even move. And you can see there's like a little lever down there. It looks like it might have been disconnected. So that's one issue, not the biggest deal. Just can't really use plus or equals, but whatever. The second issue is that when you're typing, normally, and you want to do a caps, you got to press these buttons here, shift or caps lock, caps release. But the thing is, so if you push shift and type, right, I'm getting capital letters, but then you release shift, so now you should be typing regularly. But if you look up here, I'm now down too far. See, and the reason for that is that it's stuck in a lower position after you click shift, and the only way to release it is to press the backspace a little bit, just a tad bit, so you can hear it release. So now I'm back to, here, let's see that, cap. Now I'm too low, press that backspace to release it. Now I'm back to right level here. Okay, so now let's look in the back, under the hood here. Not under the hood here, but we're gonna actually take a look in the real meat and potatoes of this machine underneath. I'm gonna cut for a minute. Okay, so here we are under the hood. I took off this cover plate here, or I should say base plate. See, that's usually on the bottom. This is the bottom of the typewriter. Here's the top, here's the bottom. And I figured out what the problem is with the shift getting stuck down a little bit. So if you kind of notice here, there's two things that happen. Here, I'll click shift. You can see that this whole thing gets pulled down. And the reason it gets pulled down is because the shifted letter, so the capital letter, is at the top of the key. So if you look at the keys, the top one is the shifted letter. So in order to get that, it has to move the whole entire mechanism down. And then the top part of the number, or the key, will hit the paper. But the problem is, when this happens, you can see it here, when it releases, it's getting stuck on that little lever. See that little lever right there? So it can't fully release. And if I press the backspace now, that little lever releases. Now it's free. And this is actually the backspace mechanism. So the backspace, you can see that wire there, pulls that little guy, and then that pulls that, and that pulls, that's what this does if it wasn't locked, is pulls the whole thing over to backspace. But the problem is, it doesn't catch on anything but the shift mechanism here. So you can see I shifted and go back. Now it's caught the backspace key. So it can't go up all the way because it's pushing up this backspace mechanism. So that's why when you press the backspace, it releases and then the whole thing goes back up. See that? It's hard to see because it happens so fast, but see that? So that's why it's getting stuck. Now I need to figure out a way to get that backspace mechanism to not go over all the way. See that? Because if I could make the backspace mechanism stop here where it should, then I could press shift freely. It's hard to hold this down and press shift, but you see what I mean? If this wasn't over so far, it wouldn't get caught there. See how it's being caught? So I need to find a way, I don't know if it has to do with that hole there. Maybe at one time there was something in there that stopped it here against these gears, so boom, backspace, and then it kind of comes up here and stops there, because then, this would be able to freely go. Or maybe it has something to do with this going over too far, backspace. Maybe there's something down here that I need to fix. So, and as for the other issue, the plus and equals button, Let me just make sure I'm on that one. There it is. Yeah, you can see that I haven't diagnosed this one quite as much, but you can just tell that there's something amiss here. It's not pulling down the key like it should be. So, but you know what? I think that's enough for this first episode of my vlog. Be sure to tune in next week when I try to fix this issue. You know, don't forget to like and subscribe, tell your friends, and see you guys next week.